Happy Thursday, FlossTube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name is Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. This is the first video in a series of 6 videos that I'm going to be doing throughout the month of August, highlighting 6 different designers, 6 different cross-stitch designers from the United Kingdom. Very excited to do these sort of highlights for you throughout the month. Carrie of Roxy Floss Co and I were lucky enough to travel over the pond to attend the Big Stitch retreat that was just this past weekend. We're going to have all of the information about that retreat and, you know, details about the organizers and the event itself next Thursday on our joint FlossTube video that we put out together. But while we were there, we reconnected with 3 designers who we've worked with in the past, and we connected anew with 3 designers that we would love to bring into the shop. And I'll pop in a photo here for you so that you can see. I was lucky enough to snap this photo. A friend, actually it was Whitney, Crafty Whitney, who took the photo for us, and it showcases the 6 designers that I'm going to take a special look at throughout the month. And today we're going to start with Ruthie of Crowsfeet Stitching, because there's a reason for why we're starting with Ruthie today, and I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to pop in a photo here of Ruthie Taylor. Ruthie Taylor is the designer behind Crowsfeet Stitching, and I did ask her to send me a little bit of, you know, background information on her. And so she, I can tell you, was born in Bradford, Yorkshire, but she's lived in London most of her life. She is married with 3 children. Her eldest daughter is at university, and she has 2 teenage sons. She's been stitching since she was about 10 years old and began with Penelope tapestries and moved on to cross stitch after she saw the patterns that were available. She's always been interested in history and historic needlework. She's been collecting samplers for quite some time and was particularly interested in samplers that are stitched in the north of England. So it was maybe, let's see, maybe a year and a half ago that we first brought in a chart from Ruthie. We met initially at the Stitches in London retreat that was hosted by Marie of Stitches and Diamonds. And again, another great retreat. If you're looking for retreats that are over in England, both of those have been fantastic. Really highly recommend, 10 out of 10. So after we met Ruthie, I saw her charts displayed. She had some shop models there, and I fell in love with a couple of her designs. And so we spoke, and she was totally on board with us converting some of her designs to Roxy Floss Co, and also bringing in her charts and selling some of her charts. So the first one that we did together was Flora Mulla, 1st of August, 1846. And I'm sure you've figured out that this is why I've decided to start with Ruthie as our first designer for the month of August, because it's the anniversary, 178 years after the date that little Flora finished her sampler. So yeah, I love this one. Now, not only am I working on my own whip of this design, Ruthie also sent me home with the model. So let me show you Ruthie's stitched finish of Flora Mulla. Look at that. I know, isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. So Ruthie's model was done on a 32 count. Let me make sure I get these details correct. Whoops. Okay, so her model was stitched on 32 count Zweigart vintage country mocha with the charted overdyed flosses, which are a combination of Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and Classic Colorworks. Our version, I'll show you mine, here's where I'm at. This is a 36 count Roxy Floss Co panettone with our Roxy Floss Co floss conversion. So because it is August 1st today, before I go home from my work day, my plan is to put 2 more lengths of floss into this beautiful sampler, just to celebrate the fact that it's August 1st. I find that really, I find it a little bit moving. You know, it was August 1st, 1846, that she put the final stitch into her sampler. Now, one thing that I love about Ruthie's charts, and Ruthie as a designer, is her real love of historical detail and research. And her reproduction samplers are full of facts and, you know, information about the area and the stitcher and the stitcher's family, and as much information as she could find out, information about her maiden name, and you know, the tartan. This is, it's a wonderful Scottish sampler, and yeah, so it's sat in my whip pile for far too long. As you can see, I'll show you my floss pack. I was talking about this earlier in a video I did over on my other channel. My floss pack, I always know that it's an older whip when I have my flosses on the old original floss tags, Roxy Floss Co floss tags, before Carrie changed her logo and we got new tags. So my floss pack is still the OG floss pack. Yeah, so it's time to put some stitches and put some love into Flora. So we also have in our shop, we brought in a design last fall, but it was sort of right in the middle of autumn, and people were sort of getting ready for holiday Christmas stitching, which, by the way, we actually will have 2 Christmas charts from Crowsfeet Stitching that are, Ruthie is going to be designing them with Roxy Floss Co with a DMC conversion. I handed her the supplies last weekend for her model stitch, so I'm excited to see those come. They're great charts. I'm excited to share them with you in a little while. But anyways, last fall, and I really want to stitch this because it's really sweet. This is the Autumn House. So this is an original design that Ruthie did, and it's chock-a-block full of sweet motifs. And look at those little squirrels. Aren't they charming? So what this reminds me of is, and I think the reason I'm so drawn to it right now is because my current stitching, my current project that I've been working on at home, is a design by Lori Pengelly of Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. And you see the similarities in all of the little small motifs that are kind of all over the place. I know it's a totally different chart, and this one has a sort of summer vibe, and this one obviously has an autumn vibe. But this has been such a pleasure to stitch that I know I'm gonna love stitching this. So this one is on my list to start this fall. The mushrooms. I mean, look at the border. Look at those mushrooms in the border. How fun are those? So my Flora is on a 36 count. I am stitching that Pansy Patch design on a 28 count, and I think that I'm going to do the same for this. I think I'm going to stitch it on a larger count so that I can have that really rich color saturation with the stitching. So that's the plan. We also have, we have 2 floss packs in the shop that go with 2 other charts from Ruthie, but we don't sell the chart. So we do that frequently where we'll put a floss pack together, like a Roxy Floss Co floss conversion. Hannah will do the conversion, put it in the shop, and then we will link to Ruthie's shop for the PDF version of the chart if you'd like to stitch it. So the first of those two is, these are both more spring Easter designs. The first one is Fanny Walton, and the second one is called Dancing with the Daffodils. So those are the charts that we've been highlighting and sharing in our shop up until now, and 2 new Christmas ones coming. But today we are adding in a new chart. So this is a design, it's a reproduction, it's a Bristol sampler reproduction that Ruthie published about a year ago. It was June 2023 that she released it out into the world. And it has the most magnificent squirrel in the middle of it. I mean, it's just fantastic. So presenting and welcoming to the Evertote workshop is Ada Violet Haxby, 1885. It's fantastic. I mean, this sampler is massive. It's a red sampler. It's a, you know, that alphabet is spectacular. The squirrel is spectacular. So we are bringing we've sent, the chart is at the printers. So it's a, if you would like to purchase this, it's a little bit of a pre-order at the moment. We should have the charts within the next 7 business days. So we'll probably be shipping this out in within, you know, the next 2 weeks. We've also added in an option to remove like we've given you a stitch count if you would like to remove the text boxes and bring the bottom border up. So all of the information for stitch count, fabric cut size, floss amounts. The floss amounts are for the full chart. And so we've given you the option to, if you would like to remove the text boxes and bring the bottom border up, just look for the adjusted stitch count for the fabric size. I know that this is a chart that Carrie has wanted to stitch for quite a while because of the squirrel, and I do believe she's going to keep the text boxes as charted, but she's going to replace the words inside. So it is a spectacular red Bristol sampler. It's just beautiful. Actually, I looked up Ruthie's Instagram post on that sampler from when she released it, and I thought you might like to hear what she said about it. She also did release some smalls based on it. So let me pop in a photo first here of the smalls because they're so good. They're just so sweet. So if you just want to stitch those smalls, you can find those over at Ruthie's Etsy shop. I will leave links to her shop and her Instagram in the description box below. So she does have those patterns. There's the squirrel, the elephant, and the horse and crown. You can see those there in the photo. I believe she has that as a separate chart to purchase. Okay, so the full thing, the entire Ada Violet Haxby 1885. Here's what Ruthie had to say about it. She was stitched in Leeds, Yorkshire in 1885. Ada Violet went to the Ashley Down Orphanage in Bristol in 1879 with her sister Lily after both their parents died and her surviving family were unable to take care of them. Ada Violet was 8 years old and her sister was 12. Both Lily and Ada Violet lived long lives, and Ada Violet married and had a child. I did extensive research on the family and on the sampler itself, and this comes with the chart available. The sampler is charted in full cross stitch with DMC and suitable for linen and Ada. I've posted a picture of the back of the sampler, as I'm not sure whether the back of a Bristol sampler has been posted on Instagram recently. It is pretty tidy stitching, but with a few loose threads. The sampler is in overall very good condition with only a few old stains and very little stitch loss. So it also says, many thanks to Claudia Dutcher Kistler and to Linda at Linda Haddon TSG and members of the Sampler Guild for their valuable input. Linda Haddon was one of the organizers of the Big Stitch, actually, as well. Interestingly, lovely, lovely, lovely Linda. And so I will have put in some photos there while I was talking to show you what Ruthie was talking about with the back of the stitching, etc. So, so it's charted for DMC. We have it available in the shop, kitted up with, we are recommending Fallow Red, which is our most popular sampler red. If Fallow Red is a little bit too much on the, it's more of a, so think of, it's intended to be like a Swedish, you know, it is fallow is, it's the Swedish red of their houses and their barns and the structures. That was what Jacob was asking from Carrie when he asked her to develop that type of red. Leans maybe closer towards 3777 DMC. If you're looking for a brighter red, Inappropriate is a great choice. Inappropriate is a really beautiful, beautiful sampler red as well. I'm partial to Fallow Red, but I know that when Ellen stitches a red sampler, she generally tends to choose Inappropriate. So there you go. It's a personal choice. Yeah, so I think that's it for Ada Violet Haxby. Welcome to Evertote, Ada. We're happy to have you here. And Ruthie, thank you so much for your kindness, your friendship, and we love working with you. I'm really excited to bring those Christmas charts into the shop. I think they're going to be really, really fun to stitch. Okay, that is it for me today. That is my little reintroduction to Crowsfeet stitching, and I look forward to seeing you in a few days with our next UK designer. Happy stitching, everybody. Have a great day. Take care. See you soon.